the Pope's brother is under attack for being based. What do you make of this, Hannah Claire?
Well, I love, first off, like the fact that we got an American Pope, so therefore the brothers are in America and have done like every interview out there. Like they are happily talking to everyone. And I think it's his oldest brother who lives in Florida, does this Piers Morgan interview and is asked basically about his social media posts that he has sort of removed. And some are like critical of Nancy Pelosi, or like they were saying, you remember when her husband got attacked and there was that theory that he was like having some sort of gay affair. They're critical of Biden. And basically, this brother of the Pope is like, yeah, I'll turn it down, but I would identify as like a MAGA guy, and he knows this about me. He's more liberal than I am, but he's not like apologizing. There's no like he at one point he was like, I mean, I wouldn't have posted it if I didn't believe it. Like he okay, it while also trying to be like, yeah, my brother's the Pope. I realize, like, I'm not trying to embarrass him, but I stand by it, and he knows what I'm about. Like, it's the best response, I think, anyone. No formal media training, and I think this guy kind of nailed it.
Let's see if that's in this. I wonder if this is in that clip. Let me see if because it's true. Like he doesn't. First of all, if it's like my brother and my brother was like a lib, but your brother's first. So you'd be like, yeah, this is my lib brother. Like, what do you want me to do? Disown him? I'm not a leftoid.
And that's why he removed the post, not like out of fear or shame. He's just like, my brother's under a lot of pressure right now. He has this crazy new job. He's the Pope. Like, I will take this away to take some pressure off him. But I stand by what I posted.
Right.
Let's see if this is that part.
Brother was about to become, or is now the Pope. Would you have been a little bit more careful about maybe reposting something like that, or do you stand proudly by your lively posting?
Well, I posted it, and I wouldn't have posted it if I didn't kind of believe it.
Based.
However, I had no idea that what was coming this soon, and I can tell you, since then, I've been very quiet, biting my tongue at some of the stuff that is out there on social media.
Perfect answer.
That was a good answer.
Yeah, you can't be mad at the guy. And like you said, like, it's your brother. Mm-hmm. What are you going to do? Like, I'm not, say, yeah, it's my brother. So what?
I think it's a good example too of like, he says like, my brother's more liberal than I am. I think he'll be a very moderate Pope. I'm more MAGA. And then it's just sort of like, but that's our, like, he doesn't denounce his brother. He doesn't change his views or anything. Like, I think there's probably more variety in most people's family on theological or political issues. And so I like that we get this very like folksy, semi-Midwestern like trio of brothers, like being the representation of like, yeah, you can have someone in your family who posts stuff on social media you may or may not agree with and be fine.
Yeah,
life goes on.
We need more of that, because what we've seen so much from the woke left is that, oh my goodness, look at every election season. It's like, oh, no more family dinners. Oh, no more family get-togethers. I've cut off my grandpa. Like all of this where people are disowning family members over who they vote for. Can we just normalize again that, hey, everybody's going to have their own different opinions on some things. Even if you agree overall on stuff, there's still going to be differences. Like, my family, like we're a lot more conservative, but even among all of us, like there's still some variation there. So that's normal. And it's okay. You don't have to cut family members off over political differences.
Yeah. I think that's true. I think that's the best part of having this like trio of brothers. And I like that amid the question of like, is he a based Pope? Is he not? Like, somebody uncovered that he was like a registered Republican. Like, there's obviously you could be registered and vote however, it doesn't matter. But I like that his brother is like, no, I think Nancy Pelosi's husband was up to something weird. No, I think Joe Biden was in decline. Like, obviously these are conversations that they are probably having whenever they have Thanksgiving or whatever.
Right.
It gives an insight into the Pope that you could really only get if he had been an American Pope. We wouldn't know this stuff if he had been Polish or Argentinian or anything else.
Yeah, I mean, this guy just seems like a regular dude, not worried about. Like you said, he's more worried about like causing his brother problems than what the media cares about. Like, he doesn't care. What do you two make of this Pope? I'll start with Melanie. Any predictions for this Pope? I mean, he's not 100, so he's going to be the Pope for a good long while here, maybe 10, 15 years. So, well, he's tweeting now, which I
did see a tweet that he made. Just,
it was pretty innocuous.
Yeah, it was just a pretty normal, like, hey, I'm happy to be the Pope type thing, like, just nice, like, nothing controversial or anything like that. I'm definitely curious to see. I do like that movie, that what we've seen. I do like that he is against the LGBTQ stuff and that he won't be trying to further that agenda. So that is definitely promising. I hope to see. Right now, he's just being pretty easygoing and nothing controversial. I do hope that he is not afraid to be bold in situations that he's going to need to. Anybody in a leadership position needs to be able to be bold when necessary. And that's one thing I really like about Donald Trump, for example. So hopefully we can see that from him. Right now, I personally don't have, I mean, I'm Protestant, so it's not like I have a huge dog in this fight or anything, but I think he seems cool. And we'll see.
Yeah. He's kind of interesting because I think, and, I wasn't raised Catholic or anything. I dabble in Catholicism now. But the Pope Francis, people were like, he's more progressive, but also they praised him for, like, he was Jesuit, so he'd taken a vow of poverty. And so they're like, oh, well, he wouldn't live in the papal apartment. Oh, he wanted this more. He didn't want an ornate funeral. But the fallout from that was like, actually, it costs way more in security to have him live in the guest house. And when he didn't want a funeral with lots of pomp and circumstance, but then he became, from what I understand, the first Pope to have this like casket be carried through to the basilica. In some ways, even though he was like the more minimalist Pope of the vow of poverty, he drew a lot of attention to himself. And in contrast with Pope Leo, the whole 1 week he's been installed as Pope. I don't even know if he's officially installed. I think they have to do like a mass on Sunday or something. Like he does seem like he's genuinely like more reserved. Like he is doing more traditional things, like living in the papal apartment. He has the more traditional garb, but in some ways that makes him like less of a standout. He's carrying on tradition and being a part of the faith as opposed to making himself the center of what this is all about, which I find fascinating. And it does, like, he's on Twitter and he's on Instagram now, which is kind of hilarious. But also, like, the Catholic Church, I think it got delayed because Pope Francis died, but they were just about to canonize their first like teenage saint, who was like one of the things that he was known for was evangelizing through social media. And so I think there is this like embracing of like the new, while also still being like, I'm just here to pray for you. And like, I want peace. I want people to get along.
That. Yeah.
I like it. I actually think it's a good vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the Pope tweeting about ending wars. That's what the Pope's supposed to do.
Exactly. That's great. Yeah. I love that.
It feels, I mean, anything could change. And I agree with Melanie, like when he is up against like bigger theological decisions or traditional, whatever, like I hope he stands by his guns and is ultimately more conservative. But, I like that he is here to be like, I want peace. And it doesn't feel as political. Like it makes it feel like, yes, we all would like wars to end.
Right.
It's like that last Pope or the Pope before that was like putting stuff out about being more accepting to the LGBTQ community. I'm like, maybe just like, don't.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Like, that, I mean, you can, like, this Pope, like, I think Melanie said this Pope basically said, I'll pray for them, as opposed to saying, we should embrace them, which is the correct thing.
It's saying that you'll pray for them and that you and to want them to find Jesus and to be delivered from that. That's a great thing. I'm
hopeful that like Pope Leo recognizes the best thing that religion can offer people right now is like tradition and consistency.
Yep.
I think the churches that contort and change themselves to please modern audiences and to become more politically correct or to win people over actually end up hurting themselves and fall apart.
Yep.
Like the best thing about any religion is the fact that it's like tried and true and it's tradition. It's something you share. So when you break that and change it, you're actually making it much harder for people to join. And I hope that's not like, that's something that Leo values, the tradition that like gives people unity. I think that's, I mean, we saw this the other day with like the Episcopalian Church saying, oh, well, we're not going to accept the white asylum seekers from South Africa because we have always believed in this. Like, if you've always believed in social justice or whatever, then you should apply it consistency. You're actually contorting and changing to try and court modern audiences.